I mocked him as a simp and told him to watch me with his boss, but he got furious and, "Hey Reddit, I'm using a throwaway account for this because I definitely don't want this linked to my main one. My friends all follow my main account and they don't know about this side of my life yet, so I'm keeping it private for now. I'm in need of some advice, but since I can't turn to my friends, I know they'd side with my husband anyway. I'm hoping to get some honest opinions from you all. Sometimes the best advice comes from strangers who don't have a stake in your life." So, a bit of background to help you understand where I'm coming from. My partner Jake and I have been together for around 3 years. We've been married for about 3 years, but our relationship goes way back to high school and college. We've been inseparable for as long as I can remember. I thought we had a pretty amazing relationship. Jake is an incredible guy. He's got a steady, well-paying job. He's kind, easygoing, and always been the romantic one between us. After finishing college, I wasn't really interested in the typical 9-to-5 grind. I shared this with Jake, and he was incredibly supportive of my desire to run my own business. I had some experience as a masseuse and decided to expand my skills by taking additional courses. Jake went above and beyond to help me turn this into a reality. He opened a store for me, fully equipped, staffed with employees, and up to code with all the latest equipment. He's been handling all the bills while I manage the store and take in the profits. The store has been thriving since its launch. It's the only one of its kind in the area, and it quickly gained popularity. The business has been booming, and I'm so grateful for everything Jake has done to make this possible. I've thanked him endlessly for his support. The flexibility of owning a business has been fantastic. I can set my own hours, delegate tasks, and enjoy some downtime when things are running smoothly. It's been a dream come true. Things have always been pretty amazing between Jake and me. For as long as I can remember, I felt incredibly fortunate to have a husband who cared so deeply about me. Jake and I have always had a playful, sometimes edgy sense of humor. We joke around a lot and it's usually harmless fun, but recently, something I said in jest sparked a reaction that has completely thrown me off balance. A few weeks back, Jake's company hosted a work party, and of course I was going with him as his plus one. This event came right on the heels of some significant changes at Jake's workplace. A few weeks before the party, Jake had been passed over for a promotion he had worked tirelessly for. It was a position he felt he rightfully deserved, given his dedication and hard work. But instead, the promotion went to someone else, someone who just happened to be the cousin of the person making the decision. Jake was furious, and understandably so. He felt betrayed, especially since the new boss was someone he considered to be incompetent and unqualified. We decided to attend the work party as a chance for me to meet this new boss, who had become a sore spot for Jake. He had talked about how the new boss's lack of knowledge was causing problems, and I was curious to see if my husband's complaints had any merit. The work party itself went off without a hitch. I met Jake's new boss, and while he was friendly, he was perhaps a bit too friendly. It quickly became apparent that he was flirting with me. I tried to brush it off, thinking it might be a case of overcompensation or just a friendly demeanor. Later in the evening, we were surrounded by some of Jake's close colleagues and his boss. I took the opportunity to talk about my business. I mentioned what I do, where my business is located, and extended an invitation for anyone interested to come by anytime. Jake's boss, with a grin, asked for a business card and made a joke about coming to visit. I laughed it off, thinking he was just being playful. To my surprise, 2 days later, Jake's boss showed up at my workplace. I was in my office when my secretary informed me that there was a customer specifically requesting me. Given the nature of my business, it's not uncommon for clients to request my services due to their personal preferences, and they usually pay extra for the privilege. I assumed it was just one of my regular clients until I stepped out and found Jake's boss standing there. At first, I didn't see anything wrong with it. It was a professional setting, and I was there to provide a service. So, I went ahead with the appointment. The encounter was just part of the job, or so I thought. Jake's boss started coming to my place a lot, almost every day. He quickly became one of my top-paying clients. I knew this would bother Jake since he didn't like his boss, and always talked about how sleazy he was. I didn't want to upset Jake or risk losing a good client, so I kept it to myself. Even though Jake's boss would flirt with me or act unprofessional sometimes, I managed to handle it without letting it show. But then, about 2 weeks ago, Jake came home acting unusually quiet and distant. I tried to get him to talk, but he wasn't ready to open up. The next day at dinner, he finally asked if it was true that his boss was a regular client at my place. I couldn't lie, so I admitted it. Jake was really disappointed and wanted to know why I hadn't told him earlier. I told him I thought it was just business and that nothing inappropriate was going on, which is why I hadn't mentioned it. Jake was really angry and said he wanted me to stop seeing his boss. At first, I tried to argue, but Jake was firm about it, so I agreed to stop. However, 2 days later, Jake's boss showed up at my place again. I tried to refuse and suggested one of my employees take care of him, but he insisted on seeing me specifically, or he'd take his business elsewhere. Feeling stuck, I decided to do it just this one time and promised myself I wouldn't let it happen again. When I got home that day, Jake confronted me immediately. Somehow, he knew that his boss had been there again. I confessed, admitting that I had indeed gone through with the appointment. Jake was angry, but I assured him that it would be the last time his boss would come to me for a massage. For a while, things seemed to settle down. Then, a day later during dinner, we started discussing our fantasies and boundaries. Jake was in a playful mood, and the conversation shifted to various kinks and desires. In a lighthearted moment, I jokingly mentioned that he might enjoy watching me with someone else. I laughed and added, "You know, Jake, you're such a cuck sometimes. How about you watch me with your boss? I bet that would make for quite a show." At the time, it was just a playful comment, and Jake seemed to take it as a joke. He laughed along and played along with the banter. However, I noticed he seemed a bit off afterward, but I shrugged it off, thinking he was just playing along. Later that week, Jake's behavior took a turn for the worse. He became distant, cold, and easily irritated. I thought it might be work stress or something else going on in his life. But then, one evening, things took a surprising and sharp turn. We were having dinner and chatting as usual, and I made another lighthearted comment. I joked about how Jake had cork tendencies and playfully suggested he should watch me with his boss. It was meant to be a joke, especially since I knew how much he disliked his boss. But out of nowhere, Jake exploded. It was like a switch had flipped. His face turned red and he started shouting. He called me disrespectful and accused me of not taking our marriage seriously. I was stunned. I'd never seen him this angry before. I tried to explain that it was just a joke and that I didn't mean anything by it, but he wasn't having any of it. Since then, Jake has completely ignored me. It's like I don't exist. He won't talk to me, answer my texts, or take my calls. I've tried apologizing over and over, but nothing seems to work. It's only been 2 days, but it's already unbearable. I've even gone so far as to block his boss from my office. He's no longer allowed in or attended to by anyone. But despite that, Jake still won't forgive me. At home, he acts like I'm invisible and has been working overtime to avoid me. I don't know what to do or how to fix this. I regret making that joke so much. It was meant to be harmless, and I can't understand why he's taking it so seriously. I feel completely lost and desperate for a solution. Update. Hey Reddit, it seems like my post attracted a lot of the usual negative comments, mostly from people who seemed more interested in throwing insults than offering constructive advice. I'm here to update those of you who actually gave helpful advice, even though I've tried most of what was suggested. I've apologized to Jake multiple times, both in person and through messages. Every time, he just acts like I'm invisible. I've suggested couples counseling or therapy to try and work things out, but he's completely ignored that too. I really don't understand why he's taking things so seriously. It was meant to be a joke, and I never thought it would blow up like this. As for Jake's boss, he's tried to come by my workplace twice now, but I've made sure he's been banned from the premises and won't be attended to by anyone. I've done everything I can think of to fix this situation, but nothing seems to be working. I'm at a loss and don't know what Jake wants me to do next. I'm just trying to find a way to make things right, but it feels like I'm hitting a wall. Any advice on what else I could do would be appreciated. Update. Hey Reddit, it's me again. I've spent the last few minutes crying my eyes out, and I'm at a loss for what to do next. How did things spiral so badly, so quickly? A few days ago, I went to my office as usual. I hadn't been there the day before because I was sick and needed to rest at home. Jake was still ignoring me, and I was hoping he'd eventually get over it. But when I got to work, I was stopped at the door and told I wasn't allowed in. I was completely confused until I found out that Jake had shown up, fired all the employees, and shut down the store temporarily. I have no idea why none of the staff could reach out to me about what was going on. The only people left there were the security staff. I was furious and bewildered. I went to confront Jake at his workplace. Since the store is in his name, he pays the bills and the rent, and he owns all the equipment. He technically had the right to do whatever he wanted. But to me, it felt like a complete betrayal. I tried to explain that the comments were just a joke, and that I didn't understand why he was taking it so seriously. But he told me that comments like that couldn't be jokes, especially when I'd made them more than once. He said that if I had truly respected him, I would have stopped seeing his boss the moment he asked me to. Jake told me that everything was his and he could do whatever he wanted with it. He told me that since I knew about what he had done, I should just go home and pack my things. I thought he was kidding, so I refused to leave and told him we needed to talk and sort things out. When Jake came home later, things escalated into a screaming match. I insisted on staying and working things out, but he was adamant that he was done. He said he was tired of feeling disrespected, and that if I had respected him, I wouldn't have made those comments, or kept seeing his boss and attending to him without telling him. He threatened to call the cops if I didn't leave, so I had no choice but to hurriedly pack some of my things and go. I'm now at my best friend's place, crying and trying to understand why Jake would do this, over what I thought was a harmless comment. He's not only taken away something I love, the store, but he's also put our marriage in jeopardy. All of this seems so disproportionate to me. I don't know what to do or how to fix this. I'm lost and heartbroken. Update. Hey Reddit, it's me again. I've been having a really rough time these past few days. My best friend has been my rock through all of this, and I'm so grateful for her support. I've been desperately trying to get in touch with Jake, but he's been ignoring me completely. After countless attempts, he finally answered one of my calls. When he did, it was like a punch to the gut. He told me to stop bothering him, or he'd block me. He was adamant that he was done with me, and warned that I'd soon be served with divorce papers. He said he wanted me to go be with his boss, so he wouldn't have to see me anymore. I felt like my heart was being ripped out. I miss him so much, and regret everything that led to this point. I tried begging him to reconsider, but he just hung up on me. I spent the entire day in tears, and my best friend had to take a day off work just to stay with me and console me. I don't know what to do anymore. The weight of everything is overwhelming, and I feel lost without him. I keep replaying our good times together in my head, wishing I could turn back time and fix everything. It's hard to believe how quickly everything fell apart. I just want to make things right and have him back in my life. Jake has always been the kind of partner who would go to great lengths for me, supporting me through every high and low. He was my rock, my biggest cheerleader, and the one person who made me feel truly valued. We had a bond that seemed unbreakable. My friends would often tell me how lucky I was to have someone like Jake in my life. They saw the way he would put me first, the way he made an effort to make me feel special and loved. And I agreed with them wholeheartedly. From spontaneous date nights to the little surprises he'd plan, Jake always showed me how much he cared. There was a time when I would boast about how amazing our relationship was, about how Jake would go above and beyond for me. I thought our connection was something rare and precious, something that many people wished they had. Our life together felt like a dream, and I genuinely believed that we had something extraordinary. But now, everything seems to have just come crashing down. I'm struggling to reconcile the loving partner I knew with the person he has become. It's like a cruel twist of fate, where once I felt like the luckiest person in the world, now I feel like everything I cherished is slipping away. I keep replaying moments in my mind, wondering where things went wrong, and why the same person who used to make me feel so cherished is now the one making me feel like I don't matter. Update. Hey Reddit, it's me. I've been getting a lot of requests for an update, and I guess some of you don't realize that we have actual lives outside of Reddit. The past few weeks have been some of the hardest in my life. It's been a painful whirlwind, and I don't know how I would have survived it without my best friend, who has been there for me every step of the way. First things first, I got served with divorce papers. That was, without a doubt, the worst day of my life. I can't even describe the devastation I felt when I opened the door and saw Jake standing there, holding the papers, and the fact that he had the audacity to deliver them in person, it shattered me. I broke down right in front of him, sobbing, but he didn't even flinch. He didn't console me. He just dropped the papers, asked me to sign them, and walked away. I couldn't believe that this was the same man who once promised me the world. The same man who swore he'd never let me cry without being there to wipe away my tears. The man who said we'd spend the rest of our lives together, building a future, loving each other, and now we're just strangers. What the fuck happened? How did we go from being soulmates to this? The days after that were a blur. I spent them crying in disbelief, feeling like my world had crumbled around me. It took everything in me to just get out of bed. My best friend was there, pushing me, reminding me that I had to keep going. But it didn't feel real. It still doesn't. Weeks later, I'm still not over it. But I knew I couldn't just sit there in my misery. The world was moving on without me, and I had to catch up. So my best friend and I went to the house to pack up the rest of my things. Part of me hoped, prayed that Jake would be there, that he'd stop me and say it was all a mistake, that he wanted to work things out. But no, it wasn't a prank. It wasn't a silly joke. He wasn't going to beg me to stay. He's done with me. And I saw it in his eyes when we crossed paths briefly. There was no love there anymore. Just this cold, distant look, like I was nothing more than a memory he'd already forgotten. That's when it really hit me. It's over. The man I loved, the man I thought I'd grow old with, doesn't care about me anymore. And just when I thought it couldn't get worse, my best friend told me that my old store, the one Jake shut down, is now back up and running. He hired new employees and reopened it without saying a word to me. It's booming, apparently, and now it's his business, not mine anymore. How crazy is that? Something I put my heart and soul into is now his. It's like I've been erased, not just from his life, but from everything we built together. It's surreal, it's painful, and I'm still trying to figure out how to move forward from this. Update. Hey Reddit, it's me again. Time for a mini update because, well, everyone else finally found out that Jake and I are no longer together. And just like that, I've become the punchline of every joke. It's like people were waiting for this moment, waiting for my downfall. The few good friends I still have are honestly shook that Jake and I are divorcing. They admit that I messed up, and I can't deny that. But even though they've taken his side to some degree, they've still been supportive in their own way. They're not cutting me off, at least, but it's clear where their loyalties lie. I'm trying to be thankful for the little bit of help they've given me, but it still stings. The bad friends? Well, they're finally showing their true colors. They've been mocking me behind closed doors, talking about how I used to brag and gloat about my life, about Jake and I being the asterisk couple, and now look at us. Over, done. I guess I was too blind to see who was real and who wasn't when everything was going well. Now, I'm just the subject of their ridicule. On the other hand, my parents have been incredibly supportive. They've been urging me to come back home, but I've refused. I feel better and happier staying with my best friend. She gets me, and being with her has helped me more than being coddled by my parents ever could. If I went home, my parents would baby me to the point where I'd just sit and wallow in my misery. I need to keep moving forward, and my best friend has been the anchor holding me together. But I'll be honest, my parents can be a pain in the ass. They love Jake, maybe even more than they love me sometimes. I know they'd try to fix things between us if I went home, but there's nothing left to fix. Jake's done with me, and there's no point in clinging to a fantasy. As for Jake's side of the family, I haven't heard a peep from them. No surprise there. They never really gave a damn about me, and I'm sure they're quietly celebrating now that we're done. I can only imagine the smug looks on their faces, and as much as it hurts, I'm not shocked. They were never on my side to begin with. On a slightly positive note, I did hear from Jake a few days ago. He called me out of the blue, only to gloat, of course. He told me he finally got the promotion he's been working so hard for. Apparently, he reported his boss's unprofessional behavior to HR weeks ago, and his boss ended up being let go. Jake got the promotion, and now he's riding high on that victory. He called me just to rub it in my face. As much as I hate to admit it, I'm glad his boss is gone because that man seriously fucked everything up for me. But hearing Jake's voice, hearing him gloat, just ripped my heart out all over again. How crazy is it that the man I love doesn't even want to reconsider us? He's moved on. It's like I never even existed to him anymore. The worst part, I'm completely broke. You'd think that after running a booming business for so long, I would have saved some money. But nope, nothing. My savings are empty. I've always been an extravagant person, and I guess I thought Jake would always be there to pick up the slack when I needed it. Now, I'm selling off everything I own just to stay afloat. Expensive bags, jewelry, all of it. My best friend has been helping me out, but I can't let her carry me forever. It's humiliating, and the reality of my financial situation is hitting me harder than I ever imagined. I don't know what's going to come next, guys. I feel numb, like my heart's been ripped out and there's nothing left. The man I love is gone, my business is gone, and now I'm trying to scrape together the pieces of what's left of my life. It's just so crazy to think about how everything can change in the blink of an eye. Update. Hey Reddit, it's me again. I know it's been a while since I last posted, and for that, I'm sorry. Life has been a whirlwind, but I feel like I owe you guys this final update. Not that it's much of an update, but more like a way for me to close this chapter of my life. The one that was Jake. I need to move on because if I don't, I'm going to keep dragging myself down, and I can't keep doing that. So here goes. First of all, the divorce is finalized. It's officially done. It's crazy how something that defined my life for so long could be ended in such a quick, cut and dry way. I didn't even waste money on a lawyer or try to fight anything because honestly, what was the point? We barely spent an hour in the courthouse. Everything was straightforward. The house was a premarital asset, so that stayed with Jake. The business? Well, it was only ever in Jake's name, so that stayed with him too. We had no shared debts, no complicated finances to split. We'd always kept our money separate, and now I realize how much that worked against me. No kids, no child support, and we were only married for about 3 years, so spousal support wasn't even on the table. And just like that, my entire life, everything I loved, everything I thought I'd have forever, gone. In the blink of an eye, it's all over. It's like a final nail in the coffin, a bang on the grave, and there's nothing left. It still feels unreal. But I've been trying to move on, as hard as that is. My best friend and I have started a small business from scratch. It's an online thing, but since she's got a full-time job, we haven't been able to dedicate much time to it yet. Still, it's something to look forward to. And in the meantime, I've been doing side gigs. I've set up a whole room at home for massage services. Business isn't exactly booming, but it's enough to help pay the bills for now. At least I'm doing something. It helps me feel like I'm moving forward, even if it's just baby steps. But honestly, I feel numb. I don't know if I really feel anything anymore. There are moments when I still miss Jake. I think about what we had, what we could have had, and how amazing we used to be together. I think about how much I miss him, how much I miss us. And then to top it all off, I hear that he's already moved on. He's got a new girlfriend. It's only been a couple of months since the divorce, and he's already with someone else. He doesn't even look sad. It's like none of it affected him at all. He's out there living his life, and here I am, still stuck in the mess, still wallowing in my misery, still trying to put the pieces back together. How is it that he moved on so fast, while I'm still here, feeling like a shell of who I used to be? It's frustrating, and it makes me wonder if I ever meant anything to him at all. It's like he's already forgotten everything we had, and yet here I am, still mourning the end of us. But maybe that's what this final post is about, closing that door. I don't want to be stuck in this place anymore. I don't want to be the one holding on to something that's already gone. So, yeah, this is me trying to move forward, trying to let go of what's been weighing me down. I don't know what the future holds, and I don't know when I'll stop feeling like this, but I have to believe that things will get better, eventually. Thanks for listening, Reddit. This is me signing off for now. Here's to moving on.
If I could turn back the hands of time, I would. I'm currently in a state of chaos. My whole world is crumbling before me. For the first time in my life, I regret listening to my dad. I regret ever knowing him. Even more, I regret that he is my father. Hey, don't judge me. I love my dad so much, but he has ruined my life. Taking my dad's advice to cheat on my husband has made my life a living hell. I have done something that I'm not proud of and will regret for the rest of my life. What should I do, guys? I'm so scared right now. I don't know how my husband will react when he finds out I cheated on him. And it was my dad that gave me the ridiculous advice. My name is Kathy, and I'm a 24-year-old teacher, and I live in a small town called Burford, which is located on the River Windrush, in the Cotswolds, England. I'm married to my best friend. His name is Josh. Josh is a pilot. Josh and I have been married for 2 years now. I always describe Josh as my soulmate, my best friend, and everything. The more I think about it, the more I hate myself for what I have done. Josh and I have been together 6 years now, and we got married 2 years ago. Josh and I met when I was 18 years old, and ever since then, my life has been like a fairy tale until I cheated on Josh with our housekeeper, Charles. My dad advised me to cheat on Josh because before Josh and I got married, he clearly stated that he is not ready to be a father. He told me without mincing any words that he doesn't want children. I was taken aback a little, but I love Josh so much, and I thought I could change his mind after marriage, and that our love can conquer all. But I was wrong. Josh remained adamant about not wanting children. He went as far as having a vasectomy when he saw how desperate I became. My dad advised me to cheat on Josh with someone else, so I could get pregnant. My dad knows how much I love children. It was my love for children that made me become a teacher in the first place. I love teaching. Teaching is my passion. I love spending time with children. That's why my dad advised me to cheat on Josh and get pregnant to test Josh's love for me. It will just be a one-time thing, he said. According to my dad, if Josh truly loved me as he claims, he would forgive me for cheating on him and accept me in the pregnancy. I listened to my dad, guys. I cheated on Josh with our housekeeper, Charles. Please don't judge me. I was desperate. I'm disgusted by my actions. It's been 3 months now and I'm not pregnant. I think I have ruined my once happy and perfect life. Josh doesn't know what happened yet. I've managed to keep it a secret from him for the past 3 months. I know I'm shameless and selfish for doing that, but I really do not have an explanation. My survival instinct and desire to keep my marriage just kicked in, and I desired to keep my mouth shut and keep everything from Josh. I know telling Josh I cheated on him to get pregnant and to test his love for me could end our marriage. Josh is a good man. He doesn't deserve this betrayal from me. He always told me that if at any point in our marriage I wanted to leave and go, start another family, that I should not hesitate, but I can't imagine my life without Josh. My life without Josh has no meaning. I couldn't bring myself to leave Josh even though I wanted children. I don't know what to do now. Should I confess to Josh, or I should continue pretending like nothing has happened? Update. Hi guys, it's me again. I decided to keep this secret with me forever, but Charles, my housekeeper whom I slept with, is blackmailing me. He is demanding a huge sum of money from me, or else he will expose our one-time affair to Josh. I'm confused right now. It turned out he has pictures and videos of everything that happened on that fateful day. What was I thinking? Why did I listen to my dad? The same man who could not stay faithful to my mom. The same man who has been married and divorced for 3 consecutive times. I mean, I love my dad so much. He is a good father, but was never a good husband to my mom or any of his other wives. It was his fatherly love for me that made him advise me to cheat on Josh and get pregnant so I can test whether Josh truly loves me. But things didn't go as planned, and now I'm stuck with the consequences of my actions. I can't believe I used my own hands to ruin my life. Josh is beginning to suspect me. He has been asking what's wrong with me. According to him, I'm no longer the bubbly Kathy he fell for and got married to, and that I have become a shadow of myself. He said something is wrong somewhere, but he can't place it yet. Josh has been trying to put a smile on my face, which is making me feel more guilty. He suggested we go on vacation after school closes for the session. He has been getting me expensive gifts just to cheer me up. One thing about Josh is he can go to any length just to see me happy. There's nothing Josh will not do except having kids, of course. He never told me why he doesn't want kids, but whatever the reason is, I don't care at this point because I know I messed up. On one hand, I'll hate myself for cheating on Josh with Charles. On the other side is Charles blackmailing me and asking me for a huge amount of money I don't have. Where will I get the money from now? I'm just a preschool teacher. I can't afford the amount of money he is asking me to pay. What should I do? Should I ask Josh for the money and pay Charles, or should I confess everything to Josh? Update. Hey guys. I'm back again. I paid Charles off. I asked Josh to give me the money, and he was surprised because I have never made that kind of outrageous demand before. He asked me what I needed the money for and lied to him that my dad is down with kidney failure and needs a kidney transplant urgently. Josh gave me the money immediately and said he will make out time to see my dad soon. He's a pilot and has to be ready for his flights, so he has no time on his hands. I hope that he never has a chance to meet my dad yet, because if that happens, and Josh ever finds out I cheated on him with Charles, and that I lied about my dad having a kidney transplant, that will be the end of my beautiful marriage. I'm forever dreading that day. Hopefully Charles is gone. I paid Charles the money he requested, and I asked him to resign from his job as our housekeeper, and he should also destroy the pictures and videos. He has resigned, but he refused to destroy the pictures and videos. There was nothing I could do, so I let it go. I was just happy because he was out of my sight. I really hope he is gone for good, because the more I see him, the more guilty I feel. My life had been back to normal since Charles got out of my life. Don't get me wrong, I still felt guilty from time to time, but I was finding peace with myself again. So I thought until Josh asked for us to go pay my dad a visit. What was I thinking? Nothing can be hidden forever. Definitely not a lie. What should I do now? Josh is asking, we go see Dad after I told him the surgery is successful and he is recovering well at home. I'm lost right now. How should I handle this? Josh will find out the truth when we go to my dad's house, and he finds out my dad was never sick and didn't have a kidney transplant. I'm on the verge of breaking down right now. I can't breathe well. I don't know what to do right now. My dad has ruined my life. I wish he truly has kidney failure. Well, not really. Taking my dad's advice has ruined everything for me. I can't even recognize myself again. I'm desperate right now. Yes, I'm desperate to save my marriage. I'm losing my mind right now. Should I confess everything to Josh? Not that I have a choice, right? Update. Hey guys, it's me again. I didn't confess, at least not yet. I called my dad and told everything that had happened. I asked him to fix the mess. Yes, he caused everything. I blame my dad for everything, but I can't deny I also played a part. I wish I didn't listen to him, but it's too late to apportion blame now, and I have gone too far in lying to turn back. My dad called Josh and thanked him for the money. He asked him not to visit now, as he is not allowed to receive visitors for now, because according to the doctors, his immune system is low, which makes him more vulnerable to diseases and might make his recovery hard. Once again, I escaped being caught, and my dad's little lie has saved me. I told you all he is a good father to some extent, but I'm not dumb, and I know that all this is just temporary. Josh is smart, and it's only a matter of time before he finds out the truth. Everything seemed to be fine, but it was just temporary. I almost forgot to tell you all that Charles showed up in my house again, this time, with ridiculous demands. Charles is asking for more money. Apparently, he gambled away all the money I gave him, and he is back for more, just like people like him do. He is also asking to transfer the ownership of our house to him, or else he will expose everything to Josh. This demand is ridiculous, but I don't have a choice. I'm desperate. I want to save my marriage. I asked him to give me time to think about everything, but he refused. He vowed to take everything from me. He turned me into a housekeeper in my own house, and he pretends to visit us just to remind me of what I owe him. He asks me to serve him food when Josh is not around, and sometimes he makes me do his laundry secretly. All these are outrageous, but a lie once told always has to be covered with more lies. Until I'm ready to tell the truth, I can't do anything. Charles knows that, and that's why he's threatening me. I was living in fear in my own house because I was afraid of what Charles would do next. Some weeks later, Josh returned back from his trip and met Charles in our home. He was displeased to see Charles because we had already hired another housekeeper after Charles resigned without giving him any notice. He demanded to know why Charles was in our house again because his visits became frequent, but Charles was unnecessarily rude to him. Josh called me into our bedroom and asked why I allowed Charles into our home. I had to make up something before I got caught. I told him Charles was stranded and that I'm just squatting him and that he will be gone in a day or two. Josh reluctantly allowed Charles to stay but gave 2 days to leave. Guys, you already know what that meant, right? It meant I had 2 days to settle Charles or else he would expose me. I decided to give Charles what he wanted, yes. I decided to steal Josh's money and also decided to meet with my attorney and transfer the house to Charles. He promised. After that, he will delete the pictures and videos and I will finally be free. Josh will never get to know about my affair with Charles and the lies I have told so far. I sound stupid, and I know what I want to do is risky, but I never want to lose my husband. I'm desperate. What have I done to myself? Update. I got caught, guys, yes. You read that right. Josh finally caught me. I have been exposed. My karma came early. The lies I have been trying to hide have been exposed. I didn't know Josh installed a CCTV camera in our home. He has been monitoring me ever since I requested that huge money for my dad's allegedly kidney transplant. He listened to my conversations, and he knows about my affairs with Charles. He told me he was waiting for the right time to confront me, and no better time than now that I'm trying to transfer our house to Charles. The day I wanted to steal the money and house documents, Josh had gone for a trip. I thought it was the perfect time to take the documents and some money. I didn't know Josh had taken every valuable thing from the safe. I saw an empty safe. I was shocked. I didn't know what had happened. At first I suspected Charles, but if it was Charles, he wouldn't still be there. I summoned some courage and called Josh. I called Josh and told him our house had been robbed. He was calm, which was even more alarming. It was then he told me he took everything from the safe and that he was aware of everything I have done. I was perplexed. He said he was only waiting to see how far I was ready to go, and surprisingly, I went very far. He asked me to leave his house before he got back from the trip. He ended the call immediately. I tried calling back, but he blocked me and I wasn't able to reach him. So after the call, it felt like my whole life had crumbled. The first thing I did was to get Charles out of my house. Of course, he threatened to expose everything to Josh, and I told him I didn't care. He refused to go, and he even wanted to go physical with me, but our new housekeeper came just in time to save me. I called security, and they threw Charles out of the house. Josh arrived 2 days later, and he was angry I was still in the house. He was furious. I have never seen him that angry. I tried to explain everything to him, but he refused to listen. All efforts to make him listen to me proved abortive. He despised me, and I could tell from looking at his eyes. He said it was over and that I should leave his house. I tried begging him, but he was adamant about me leaving. One toxic thing about Josh is that he never changes his mind once his mind has been made up. Josh threw my boxes outside and instructed the security never to allow me into the house ever again. He asked me to return the money he gave me for my dad's alleged kidney transplant. He took everything he ever bought for me. He did not allow me to take anything except my boxes. He took the keys of the car he bought for me, the jewelry, and everything he ever provided for me without any remorse. Josh asked me to sign the divorce papers before leaving, but I refused because deep down I thought he still loved me and we could still work on our marriage. Of course, I knew he was angry, but I thought time would heal everything, and he would forgive me for cheating on him. I thought he loved me so much that he would never let me go. As a matter of fact, I used to believe I was his weakness, his best friend and soulmate. I used to think that no matter what, he would always come back to me and we can work on our marriage. I'm not perfect, neither is Josh perfect. We are two imperfect souls. But now I don't think that's possible because Josh has ignored my whole existence. Update. Hey guys, it's me. I'm back again. What I feared the most has happened. I'm divorced now. Yes, I'm single. This is not how I pictured my life. I never knew I ever got divorced because I married an incredible man that loved me so much, but unfortunately I jeopardized everything. When Josh and I got married 2 years ago, I vowed to never get divorced. I always hated divorce because of the stigma that comes with it. My dad has been married and divorced 3 times in a row, and I have seen how society stigmatized him. I never knew I would one day follow in his footsteps. After Josh sent me away that day, I left for my dad's place. He was surprised when he saw me because he wasn't expecting me. When I narrated everything to him, he opened his arms wide and hugged me. I pushed him away and blamed him for everything. I told him things I regretted later because even though he advised me to cheat on my husband, he He never put a gun to my head to do it. I told him horrible things, how he had been married and divorced 3 times, how he is a failure, how never loved anybody but himself. My dad listened to everything I had to say and never said a word. Later, when I was calmer, he called me. I thought he wanted to scold me for cursing him, but instead he apologized. He admitted to being wrong. That is the first time I'm my dad accepting his wrongs. My dad is an egoistic man. He never accepts he is wrong. Even though his 3 marriages ended in divorce, he didn't fault himself. Instead, he blamed the women for being after his money. He told me he is sorry for ruining my life and that he thought I would get pregnant after the affair and have my own child because he knows how much I love children. That was why I chose teaching as a profession. He promised he will go see Josh the next day. I was anxious about how the meeting would go, but I still allowed my dad to go see Josh. Maybe when Josh hears the truth from my dad, he will have a change of mind and forgive me. I mean, I know it was selfish of me to sleep with our housekeeper because I wanted to have a child, but I still had hope he might forgive me when he hears the truth that it was my dad's idea. Josh respects my dad so much, he will listen to him and forgive me, and everything will be back to how it used to be. So I thought, but I was wrong. That day I waited for my dad to return from Josh's place, but he never came back. I tried calling his line several times, but there was no response. I was devastated and worried. My mind was all over the place. I decided to visit Josh the next day to find out about where my dad was, but I was denied entrance into the house by the security at the gate. I tried calling Josh, but he blocked my line so I could not reach him. I decided to go to the police station and complain about my dad's disappearance. Nothing prepared me for the shock I experienced when I saw my dad at the police station. Apparently, Josh arrested my dad when he came to apologize. Things got heated between them, and he arrested my dad. When I asked the policeman for the proof, I discovered that Josh accused my dad of extorting money from him through me by pretending to be down with a kidney failure. My dad was arrested on the count of fraud. Josh gave me 2 conditions before he will bail my dad. I finally saw him after I made a scene outside the gate. He asked the security to let me in. When I came in, I saw another woman in my matrimonial home wearing my nightie. I could not believe my eyes. How Josh moved on so soon, I thought we were soulmates. I thought we were destined to be together forever. I was so disappointed I couldn't even cry. The lady gave me a distraught look and said in her exact words, "Why are you here?" I ignored her and made my way upstairs, but she blocked me. She told me to wait downstairs, that Josh will soon be down. I couldn't believe there was a stranger in my house wearing my nightie and asking me not to go see my husband in our bedroom. While I was trying to process everything, Josh came downstairs, and he was even more furious than he was before when he sent me packing. He asked to leave. I begged him to please release my dad from the police station, and he gave 2 conditions. 1, that I will refund double of the money he gave me for my dad's alleged kidney transplant, and 2, that I will sign the divorce papers. I tried begging him, but he refused to listen and threatened to throw me out if I'm not ready to accept his conditions. When I saw his mind was made up, I stopped begging and accepted my fate. At that moment, I was ready to sign the divorce papers. My poor father was suffering in the police station, and I will go to any length to see him released. Nothing matters to me again than my dad's freedom. I have lost my marriage, my best friend, and my soulmate. I cannot lose my dad too. I accepted his conditions. I signed the divorce papers, and he gave me 24 hours to raise the money. My whole world was crumbling just as I had feared. I could not believe what was happening to me. I sold my dad's house so I could meet up with Josh's deadline. That was the only inheritance my dad left for me. I had to sell it to raise money. I also sold all the furniture we had in the house. I gave the money to Josh and my dad was released. Update. Hi guys, I'm back again. After Dad was released, we became homeless. There was no house to come back to because I had sold everything. Thankfully, he moved in with his brother while I went to squat with my friend. You would think after the divorce, Josh will finally allow me to be, but you guessed wrong. He has decided to continue frustrating my life. He made sure I was sacked from the school I taught at. He knows I love teaching, and he is trying to take everything I love from me. Like I said, Josh is a pilot, so he has the finances and connections to do whatever he likes. Even though I worked, I solely depended on his money. I was sacked, and life became more miserable. I couldn't even afford a sanitary pad. I can still feed thanks to my childhood friend Monica. She offered me food and shelter while I continued job hunting. Josh made the principal in my former school spread lies about me, that I'm unprofessional with children. So it was hard for me to secure a job. Josh vowed to make my life a living hell, and he succeeded. The more I applied for jobs, the more rejection later I got. I never imagined that something like that was possible, but I'm a testimony. I was devastated. Worst of all, my dad was sick, and I couldn't afford to buy drugs for him. I was dead broke. My poor dad never recovered from being locked up by the very man he took like a son he never had. My dad was fond of Josh. They played golf together whenever my dad visited, and Josh would let him win all the time. They were so fond of each other. Everything happened so fast, now all that is left is regret. My dad has been down ever since everything happened, whether it's the guilt of destroying his only child marriage, or the fact that he lost his house, or being locked up by the person he once loved like a son. He blames himself, and I see the guilt in his eyes every day. Even though Josh and I are divorced, I have always fantasized about getting back together. I never lost hope. You can imagine my happiness when I got a message from Josh to come to the house that he had a surprise for me. I was happy. I thought finally he forgave me and he was ready for us to start over again. This time, ready to spend forever with him, I'm ready to let go of my thoughts of having my own children. I was so excited I dashed out barefooted, but I had to run back. I pinched myself to make sure I wasn't dreaming. I never knew this day would ever come. My dream of reuniting with Josh, my ex-husband, was cut short again. I never knew he wanted to give me a lifetime humiliation. I arrived at Josh's place, and it was like a carnival. Everybody was present. I was happy. I thought he was about to ask me to marry him again like he did the first time. So I thought, silly me, I never knew what was awaiting me. When I got to the living room, all eyes were on me. I wanted to disappear. Everyone gave me a disdainful look. It felt like a witch had just walked in. I felt unwanted. No one answered my greetings. Everybody avoided me. I wanted to leave when I saw Monica, my best friend, who I have been staying with ever since the divorce. I felt relaxed again. I thought Josh had contacted Monica so they could organize a surprise party for me. How delusional. I called Monica and she avoided me like everyone else. I thought they didn't want to give the surprise away. That is why everyone is avoiding me, but I was wrong. While I was putting everything together, I saw Josh's mom and I went to say hi to her, but she also ignored me. I'm not surprised by actions because she never ignored me. She never wanted Josh to marry me because to her I was a gold digger. She even went as far as trying to buy me off so I could leave her son. But I rejected the money. I kept this away from Josh because I didn't want to cause a rift between them. I know how much Josh adorned his mother. Josh came downstairs after some time, but I was surprised he also avoided me. I thought he had called me for something else. It was then that I finally began to realize that I had been brought to face my own humiliation. But I just sat there like a fool. He went straight to the front, took the microphone from the music band, and went one knee. But nobody prepared me for what came next. I was expecting Josh to walk towards me and tell me he forgave me, but I was wrong. He walked up to Monica, my best friend, and I was shocked. I didn't know what was happening. I was even more shocked when Monica held hands with him. Josh went on to tell everyone how I cheated on him with our housekeeper, Charles, and how I planned with my dad so we could take over his property. He went on to tell the guests how I wanted to make him lose his job. I was very shocked because I never said any of that. I mean, have you guys ever been in a situation where lies are being told about you? Apparently, when I was being blackmailed by Charles and I ran to Monica to see whether she could lend me some money and had to tell her everything, she backstabbed me. She betrayed me and went behind my back to tell Josh lies. I finally understood why Josh had refused to listen to me. The lies were ridiculous and like something out of a movie, but Josh believed her. I finally understood why he was using every means to hurt me. Josh believed Monica because Monica is my best friend. The shocker is Monica was my maid of honor at our wedding. How could she betray me like this? Monica has always wanted a husband like mine. She never always told me that. I always suspected she had a crush on Josh, but I never knew she would stab me like this. I just thought her side remarks about my marriage were normal and that I had nothing to worry about. I'd always been so busy thinking of having a child that I stopped paying attention to details. I finally understood what Josh meant when he said he would take everything away from me. I have lost everything: my husband, my marriage, and now my best friend. I wanted to leave the party, but I was stopped by Josh's mom. She told me how she warned me 6 years ago to leave her son, but I refused. But she told me something I will forever be grateful for. She told me the reason Josh doesn't want kids. Can you guys guess the reason? It's because Josh was neglected as a child by his father. His father never treated him with love. His father always cursed him. Josh's father was a violent man, and he was a drunkard. It's surprising that a drunk was able to birth a child as good as Josh. Josh didn't want to have kids because he thought he'd start drinking like his father and blame his child for his faults. It hurts me that he refused to tell me something this deep before we got married. After listening to the reason Josh doesn't want kids, the hate I had for him vanished and felt pity for him. Instead of hating Josh, I was feeling sorry for him. Why didn't he tell me this? I would have held his hand till the very end. I guess the reason he didn't tell me was because he didn't want me to feel sorry for him. Well, I had to stop feeling sorry for him when I realized my ex-husband and ex-best friend got married. Yes, you read that right. Josh and Monica got married, and the wedding was a lot. After the betrayal from Josh and Monica, I decided to forge my life with what was left. I managed to find a job at a retail store as a sales rep. The manager was kind enough to allow me to sleep in the store after work. Update. Hi guys, I'm back again. Life has been tough. I have been through a lot, but I'm grateful for the little progress. I'm beginning to pick up my life again. One piece at a time. Life was moving slowly but steady until I met Charles again. That was the beginning of another endless journey of blackmail. Apparently, he still had the naked pictures and videos of me on his phone. He vowed to post them online if I don't do as he says. Every day he will come by the retail store to ask me for more money. Slowly, I started losing everything I had managed to gather again. I was confused and lost. I was slowly becoming a shadow of myself again. Things got worse. I had to quit and stop working at the retail store because Charles was asking me to steal money from the store and give it to him so he can use it to gamble, or else he will post my nude on all social media. I had to quit because the manager has been so nice to me, and I don't want to hurt her by stealing from her. She took me in and trusted me at a time where everyone is guarded and protective of their space. I didn't want to break that trust. After her, I tendered my resignation letter to her. She asked me why I wanted to quit my job or if I have gotten any better offer. I refused to tell her, but she insisted I tell her, or she won't accept my resignation. After so much thought, I decided to open up to her. I told her everything that I have been through. After telling her everything, she felt pity for me and advised me to report to the appropriate authorities, but Charles had warned me that the moment I involved the police, he would post my pictures on all social media. I decided to not inform the police because I can't bear to see my nude online. After my resignation, I decided to run away to my uncle's place in Clovelly, Devon, England. But before I could leave, I didn't know how Charles got to know I was trying to run away. My worst nightmare finally came to pass. Charles had uploaded my nude on all social media platforms, and it was trending. Everyone in the town gossiped about me. I was the talk of the town. Everyone blamed me for leaving my husband and getting in bed with an ordinary housekeeper. No one cared to ask me the reason I did what I did. They all judged me and called me names. I felt that was the end and I didn't want to live again. I have lost everything because of a silly mistake I made. I wished I never listened to my father's advice. I wished I never even visited him on the fateful day. I lost everything the very day I got in bed with Charles. I wished I never hired him when he came crying a year ago that he needed a job. I took pity on him and gave him a job. Now he has become torn in my flesh. I finally left the town and went to stay with my dad and uncle in Clovelly. With the help of my uncle, I was able to secure a job as a teacher in a nearby school. Life was beginning to make sense again, and my relationship with my dad never got to how it was before, because I blamed him for ruining my life. I have forgiven him, but I can't seem to forget. The scar is forever fresh in my heart. Josh and Monica are still together. I hope Josh finds all the happiness I couldn't give him in Monica. As for Charles, I heard he was arrested and sent to jail. I've had a rough life, and I can't imagine that a single decision led to many consequences. I can't believe that I've gone from having it all to having nothing at all. My life became a bad movie, and I'm still trying to process everything. Well, I hope everyone learns from my story and doesn't make the kind of mistakes I made. Also, never let other people's opinion make your choices in life. Don't marry a person whose life doesn't follow yours. Know that it's not all advice you should take, and definitely not from a man who has been divorced 3 times. Lol. Thanks and goodbye.